Hello, all development of mankind and many ideas go in spiral way. We can experience another rise of vinyl record sales. I am waiting until everyone will remember about tape cassette players, and we will see the renaissance of Walkmans, because it's portable analog sound for those who like it. So why I'm speaking about that? Because today for review I've got Audio-Gd R2R 11. It's a pretty affordable digital to analog converter that uses resistor ladder as a for digital to analog conversion. It's like reminiscence of all that gold times of where digital audio era just began, and we've got solutions like ultra analog and so on. But thanks to Chinese manufacturers, we can get it for really affordable price. I can easily guess that this one unit is the most affordable. For $350 you can get a bit of that nostalgic sound. And if you don't want so much nostalgia, anyway, it's a pretty good digital to analog converter with headphones amplifier. So now let's have a closer look. This time I will skip unboxing because it's nothing to show. Actually, box is made of recycled cardboard, traditional brown cardboard, and in accessory set you will have power cord and USB audio cable, so it's nothing fancy in the accessory set. Instead I will do another bonus, but it will be at the end of this video. So, as you can probably see, it's a relatively big device. From one point of view, of course, it's not big as those $1,000 desktop digital to analog converters and amplifiers, but it's definitely bigger than vast majority of affordable models like FIO devices, like my beloved Audinst and so on. So it's bigger and it's heavier. Its weight is more than 2 kilograms, and lion's share of this weight is metal case. It's big, it's reliable, and it stands nicely on the table, so even with some hard headphones cable you won't accidentally push it down. On the front panel there is headphones output, output selector, so headphones out, line out, variable and fixed, gain switch, volume control, and input selector, so you can go for coaxial, USB and optical inputs, and a small LED indicator. So nothing fancy, no LEDs to indicate the resolution of signal, no displays or something like that. But anything is done pretty nicely because everything is reliable. Nice, well-defined clicks, smooth volume potentiometer, it's Alps, so it's going nicely, almost zero channel imbalance, and no noise when you're rotating it. On the back panel everything is also pretty traditional. Power socket, on-off switch, USB in, coaxial in, optical in, and line out, double RCA. So no balanced inputs, outputs, but I think it would be too much for the affordable device. Audio-Gd have many other models with balanced amplifiers and so on, but of course they are more expensive. Actually, what is fun here used a pretty expensive Amanero USB interface, so it supports all the highest resolutions and DSD, so all the modern signal formats. And also it's a pretty powerful device because its output power is let me remember right, 300 milliwatts for 300 ohms load, so even high impedance headphones won't be an issue for it. It will also drive pretty good power hungry planars, of course not the high-end ones, but not because it's lacking power, but because it's not resolving enough for high-end headphones, of course. And of course about the sound, and you know, it definitely sounds as you can probably expect. It's a bit vintage and probably the sound that can be called analog one. So it's a bit less resolving on treble than modern Delta Sigma digital to analog converters. It has a bit smooth decays with a bit forward attacks, especially on low frequencies. So punchy, engaging, probably energetic a little bit, and that's Audio-Gd R2R 11. So let me put some headphones. Actually, today as an illustration I will use German Maestro. Pretty interesting natural model for those who like uncolored sound. So lows are pretty good in terms of layering. They are a bit accented, but not by quantity, just by additional weight put into this part of spectrum. It has normal depths. Of course, it's not the deepest sounding digital to analog converter and amplifier, but it has normal depths. It's good in bass layering, it's good in representing rumble and everything like that. Resolution is not at the maximum level, but pretty okay too, so it's good for the genres that require additional energy put into low frequencies. Probably I could name some electronic music, but I got another example, and I really recommend as an example for this digital to analog converter. It's band Ghost. If I remember right, a few years ago they got Grammy Award as Best Metal Performer, and their album Meliora, probably if I pronounced it correctly, it's a great example suiting the signature of this digital to analog converter, because they've got huge drums, some kind of big drum accompanying their music, and those drum hits sound really fun, especially with this amplifier. Mids are also not traditional, like, you know, if you expect like micro contrast, best micro detalization, it's also not an option for you. But if you'd like highlighted emotions, if you'd like a bit forward representation that is focusing on the macro side of things, not the micro details but macro contrast, it's definitely the digital to analog converter and the amplifier that you want. It has a normal stage, a bit above average both in width and in depth, and good emotions, nice detalization, so all instruments sound pretty realistic. Of course, it's not resolving as traditional Delta Sigmas, but resolution is still pretty good, especially if we took price into attention. And probably also best examples here will be something from classical hard rock or heavy metal genre. For example, let me think a little bit, some Led Zeppelin recordings would be great with it. Deep Purple, all that nostalgia tunes and melodies from your vault. So, and treble, of course, as usual, you know, for inexpensive resistor ladder and multi-bit models, usually treble is, how to say, it's not the worst part, but the most probably part where they suffer a little bit, so let's say it so. And this one is no exception. Treble here is pretty nice. It's definitely not fatiguing. It's a bit smooth, so it's not super realistic, but because of that smoothness, it's really comfortable. And especially if you don't like bright sound, if you don't like forwardness on treble and aggression, it's a model for you. Resolution of treble here is really nice, and actually attacks and decays are simplified. Layering is also really basic, but anyway they sound pretty engaging and pretty normal. And as an example for treble, I will probably name something like Pink Floyd Money or Time. Probably Time would be a better example, because this intro part with all that clocks ticking and then that alarm clock ringing is pretty aggressive in terms of treble, and this device plays it nicely. So it sounds pretty realistic, but at the same time not really sharp and forward. So, to summarize the sonic part, actually it's a model for those who like a bit colored sound signature with a bit added weight, with a bit of added smoothness. It's enjoyable, you know, it's not my type of sound actually, but I can understand those who like such signature. If you pair it with some natural or probably no, actually not so natural, but a bit warmer model, you will have, you know, this lush, smooth, but not over smooth sound. And as for compatibility, it's definitely a model created for the full-size headphones. With in-ear monitors you will have a bit of background noise, and it's probably too powerful. Even on the low gain it became too loud quickly with sensitive models. But of course you can use some attenuator to fix this. For example, iHi-Fi's, iFi iMatch or some other adapter with impedance. And as I've promised before, a small bonus. I won't do it that often, but for this digital to analog converter I removed upper lid. I really like the internals of Audio-Gd devices. They are really interesting inside, and they are really packed and stuffed with everything. So let me show it to you. So here is power supply transformator and DC filtering capacitors, so pretty big, and they don't try to save every single penny. This is a Monero board, two resistive ladder models, DA8 created by Audio-Gd, Alps for volume control, and their own proprietary discrete amplifier with powerful output transistors and everything related. Actually there are two jumpers here and here, and on the Audio-Gd site mentioned that those jumpers can change the sound a little bit, can change the signature, but I didn't test that, so just disassemble it to show it to you. To summarize everything, really good, nicely built, affordable device offering a bit unusual but fun and engaging sound, especially for those who need powerful amplification and for those who like analog and engaging and energetic sound. Thank you for attention.